Radio. It's about to crank this mother. You know how we do it, player. Yeah.
Doing it big right now
on Instinct Radio.
All right, we are live. We are back. InstinctRadio.net, man. You are in the locker room. Of course, you only see me, but however, on the remote, we got my boy Don. What's up, Don?
Hey.
All right, man. Before the last break, man, you kicked it off right, man. Let's talk a little Lamar Odom, man. I called him Lamar Kardashian for a reason, though. But what's your thoughts on the situation that he's going through right now?
First of all, it's sad that anyone is in that type of position to where they have to have a crutch, an addiction. And for him, it's drugs. This isn't the first time it's been reported. It's just this is the first time it's become near fatal.
Yeah.
But I think for him, his depression started back when he got traded from the Lakers to the Mavs.
Yeah.
He loved LA. He loved playing there. Had just won a championship.
Yeah.
Considered one of the best six men of all time. Helped them win a championship. And I think he felt betrayed by the Lakers instead of the Dallas Mavericks saying, hey, we think you're that great. We want you here to win a championship. And the two got confused to him. And he's never been the same since then. He never even played a regular season game with Dallas.
Yeah.
I think that's what stemmed everything with the addiction. And it just spiraled after that. The divorce, obviously being with a Kardashian, that just triggered him into a downward spiral. And he never recovered from it. He never was able to find that happiness in L.A. that he once had. And I was the first one to talk about him when the trade was made for Dallas because at the end of the day, you're a professional. You're paid to do a job, regardless of where the situation is. Let's say, for instance, you're working at ESPN, all of a sudden you get traded to Fox Sports, making more money. You go to Fox Sports and you do your job. Yeah, it might have been great to be at ESPN, but you do your job. And I felt that he should have done that. Now, I don't know everything that goes on, in his life and everything, but if you take that type of perspective, then he would have been fine in Dallas, and hopefully he wouldn't have been in the situation that he was found in.
Absolutely. I do think that. Now, however, I do think there was an issue long time ago. A lot of times with addiction, sometimes it's triggered by external things. And then sometimes, man, it's kind of in you, dormant, and you're fighting it until it's too much for you to even fight anymore, and it just kind of consumes you. So I do think that his trade away from was he traded or released?
Oh, he was traded.
Okay, so him being traded was a trigger for him, and I mean we've seen it. We watched it. Unfortunately, we had to watch it on. Keeping Up with the Kardashians and all that other stuff. We saw him. We saw a different Lamar Odom.
Right.
And I'm gonna be real. I'm real with the locker room. People in the locker room, I'm real with you. I'm not like all these fake people. I did watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians. I did watch. I didn't watch their other show.
That ain't so.
That
ain't so.
I did. Sometimes it's good to watch comedy on TV. But and you got to watch The Greatest Pimp of our century, Kris Kardashian, man. You got to pay attention to him. You got to watch The Greatest Pimp of all time, man. But to watch him on the show, even it changed. It was a clear change once he left and went to Dallas, and I think having to do that on TV is even worse because things that could have been private, that you can work out in private, that you can do in private, it's no longer private. He thrusted himself in front of the camera. It's tough to say all that because we know players and people that can be in front of the television and live normal lives. I just don't think that he was in the mental state to ever do that.
Okay.
I just don't. I don't even think that he started using at that time. I think he already had it in his life, and he may have been fighting.
He had it's proof. Yeah. He had 2 drug investigations in the NBA when he first began. He's been battling this drug demon for a long time because of the background that he has, losing his mother at 12 and father being a heroin addict and then losing a child at 6-month-old child. Yeah. So he had a lot of issues way before the Kardashians ever stepped in. I just think that I agree with you. Not that you even asked my opinion, but I'm giving it to you anyway.
That's how we do.
I just think that I agree with you when you say he wasn't the type of person equipped to handle living his life in front of the TV because his life was already in shambles.
Exactly. And the thing is, when you put a dysfunctional person on television, not only do they have to worry about their own functionality, but they also have to worry about hiding their dysfunctionalism. Like they have
AKA Bobby and Whitney?
Oh, absolutely. I always tell people, first of all, being Bobby Brown was entertaining. It was severely entertaining. But what that did was, for years, we all said, Bobby's in the wrong. And if you watch that show, you change your tune watching that show.
Exactly.
And you begin to say, maybe Whitney ain't all there either.
Right.
So I think with Lamar trying to hide, how can I say it? Trying to hide something that you want to hide is hard. You have to double hide it. So not only are you dealing with your own internal issues, trying to hide your addiction, now I got to hide all my dysfunctionalism trying to deal with this addiction from the cameras. And from this social pimp named Kris Jenner.
But do you think that the Lakers had better PR, or he was in a better situation to handle things in LA as opposed to Dallas?
I don't think that's the case. I actually think that he was in a good place to where he was strong enough to handle his addiction in either in a good hidden way, or that he was able to fight it for long enough when he was in the Lakers.
No, he was a functional drug addict when he was with the Lakers. Why? Because he was happy.
See, I don't think he was functional.
He was functional. He was very functional when he was with the Lakers, but he was still using.
I won't say that he wasn't using. What I'm saying is,
I think I agree. I think he was a functioning addict when he was with the Lakers. However, the depression from being traded started him using a lot more.
Exactly.
To where it became a lot frequent, and it may have even switched to harder stuff.
Harder drugs, yeah.
Okay, that's possible. That's possible. I can agree.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what I think. I think that he was partying when he was in the Lakers. Maybe some cocaine, little ecstasy, whatever the party drug is on the scene at that time, because that's the lifestyle that they living in. But once he got traded, which he wasn't happy about, and he was in a bad situation or a bad mental state, then he started using the harder stuff, keeping the wrong friends around that's helping you use the harder stuff. Right. And there you go, spiral out of control.
Possible. Yeah. It's possible. Let me ask, Don, I want to go to you first. Mm-hmm. Do you think that him partying or being in LA and using those drugs, possibly, allegedly, was actually a better thing for him, because in Dallas he had to use those drugs in private? And I'm gonna tell you why I say that, because a lot of times, especially with alcoholism, I'm familiar with it because I have several family members that suffer severely from alcoholism. When they're partying and they're drinking, they're a different person than when they're at home by themselves in front of the TV listening to Bobby Womack drinking. That's a whole different level of drinking.
Not Bobby Womack.
I was just Bobby gonna say
like that.
Hey, man, you listen to some Bobby Womack
music, though.
and you just listen to the words.
Say Bobby Caldwell. Don't put Womack under the bus like that.
Oh, man, we can't put no Bobby Caldwell. Lord have mercy. That black white man, we gotta leave him alone. No, but seriously, do you think that with LA being a party city, that was actually better for him than going to Dallas. The reason I say that is because if he had a problem for a long time, then it didn't show itself in LA and it didn't show itself in Miami. Both of those are party cities.
I think that in LA, somewhat to your point, it was out in the open because it was quote unquote social drinking, and you don't have to go home and drink the whole bottle. You can have some drinks while you're out. However, I think it's still that depression that he went through of feeling betrayed from the Lakers to being traded to Dallas that caused him to just use whether he was out or at home.
Yeah. It's truly a sad state to see him, because if you are a sports fan and you know Lamar Odom before the television cameras, you know that this man was highly, highly, highly gifted.
Even if you knew Lamar Odom before the Lakers, when Lamar Odom was with the Clippers.
Clippers Odom was talented.
That was 16 man that'll come down the floor with the ball like a point guard when he first came in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Don, what I mean, for people that haven't watched Lamar Odom that are watching here on Instinct Radio, man, what was Lamar Odom before all the cameras?
He was the best sixth man to play basketball because, as Country was saying, who do you know 6'10" that can handle the ball like a point guard, that can play all 5 positions on the court?
Yeah.
and a southpaw. So
yeah,
he could do it all.
Yeah. He was talented.
As well as defend. He was just ultra talented.
Absolutely. We give a lot of props to, and deservingly so, to people like LeBron James and Kawhi Leonard. There's a few other people that can do everything on the court. This guy really did you really just went over to him, told him, hey, Lamar, I need assists today. Hey, Lamar, I need rebounds today. Hey, Lamar, I need some three-pointers today. And he really could go out there and give you whatever you needed. That is not normal.
I think on top of that, though, we have to mention that every person that's ever been interviewed about Lamar Odom also spoke to his character, in which he was one hell of a person.
Yeah.
Despite all the things that he gone through, which for all intents purposes, we could say he lived a pretty difficult life.
Absolutely.
A lot of us wouldn't be able to handle some of the things that, or the way his life panned out, even though, he had success financially and maybe career-wise as a basketball player, he was going through a lot of personal trials and tribulations.
Yeah.
And he still remained or managed to become a very loving human being.
Yeah, absolutely.
From all accounts that I've ever read or seen, people talk about him. So for him to be privately going through so much turmoil, inner turmoil, and nobody could see it, he must did a hell of a job of hiding it.
He did.
Yeah, I think we all saw it. We just misdiagnosed it. I think his outlet was basketball.
True.
And I think that's why he worked so hard, and that's why he played. I mean, he was on some bad teams. And you never really saw him complain or, make a fool on the court. The guy just wanted to play. He's one of the first people at 6'10" I ever seen pull off one of the prettiest sham guard crossovers, and it was nothing. And he's 6'10". He is tall, and one of the most difficult things you could do as a tall person is try to pull that sham guard crossover because you're just too tall to do it. You dribble too high.
Yeah, when I first seen him in the Clippers and come down the floor on a fast break, snatch the rebound and take off that, who the hell is he? He's 16. He damn near 7 foot coming down the floor like that.
Yeah.
Look him up. Who's this guy?
And he wasn't no disrespect to Kevin Garnett. Kevin Garnett doesn't have any real muscle on his body. I mean, that man is thin, real. Lamar Odom was big.
Kevin Yard getting Garnett. He the only 7-foot person I know that still weigh 160 pounds soaking wet.
I mean, really? They try to say Kevin Garnett weighed 200 pounds. I'm like, it's a bold-faced lie.
Nice.
Because that boy is the first Ethiopian basketball player I've ever seen in my life.
With 10-pound ankle weights on each side.
I'm telling you. But Lamar Odom was big boy. He was, I mean, I'm not sitting over here and saying like he was one of the greatest basketball players that I had ever seen. But however, to watch him, he captured your eye on the court.
And that height he was.
But the one thing that's good is that he's breathing on his own now.
I was going to say, you got to put him in the conversation. You may not call him the best. He may not even make your top 10, but you got to put him in the discussion at least.
I put him in the discussion of most versatile players I had ever seen. Yeah, that I've ever watched.
16?
Yeah, that I've ever watched. He's definitely one of the most versatile players I've ever watched. And the reason I bring that up is for people to know, and sometimes you just got to Google these players, man. I think it's a crime against him that he's referred to by his life off the court and not by his life on the court.
On the court.
Several people, including those on major stations such as CNN and I want to say MSNBC,
HLN.
When they HLN, Jesus Christ, Nancy Grace, to refer to him as an former husband to to Khloe Kardashian, that's disrespectful to me.
Or former.
But that just shows you the state of America and where reporting and media have gone to. It's all about the Kardashians. So every reference will be made to them.
Yeah.
You don't think that Reggie Bush was to do something right now, they'd be like former Kim Kardashian, Reggie Bush?
Yeah.
Everything is sad to say revolves around that. And like I was saying before air, if it wasn't for bad luck, the Kardashians wouldn't have luck at all.
Yeah. It's and
I
I
don't
understand.
even blame them. I blame the media.
I'm not blaming them. They're just capitalizing.
I don't blame them because, in my opinion, you know what you're going to get with if you become involved with a person of the Kardashians. You know what you're going to get. You're going to get some cameras. You're going to get some limelight. You're going to get some paparazzi. You have to know that. You can't be fickle and just be like, oh man, I just love them or I just care about it. Like, this is what you accept. So in a way, you have to blame yourself. Like, if this bothers you, like, for example, Reggie Bush. Reggie Bush was with Kim. He came to the realization, I'm not about this camera life. I don't like it. Broke up with him. Just because of that. Yeah, you took a beating in the media because you broke up with Kim Kardashian, but at least he got his life on track after that. Or he got his life back to a happy place that he wanted to be. So I look at Lamar, and even though Lamar looked like he was uncomfortable in front of the cameras, sometimes you got to take your own life into your hands and just be like, I don't want to do this no more. But at the same time, I actually believe that Khloe actually cared for him.
I'm just gonna say, I'm sorry, but I'm Team Khloe on this one. She actually loved that man. Even when he was going off the rails, she wouldn't divorce him.
Yeah.
She tried over and over and over and over and over again. No matter what Kim or what's the momager?
Oh, Chris. Pimp Chris.
They all was telling her to break up with him, to divorce him, to do all these things. She didn't even want to pack his clothes. Like, I think she truly loved that man. Mm-hmm. And that's why she sits where she sits today. Still not divorced from him. She could have been signed those papers. She refused.
I thought she signed the papers.
She didn't sign the papers. That's why they still married. That's why she's making all the medical decisions.
I know. I don't know whether or not the signature happened. I do know it is not official.
I thought it wasn't finalized yet, but
it's
everything
definitely
was
not
fine.
finalized.
It just hasn't been finalized by the judge.
That could be the
So
case.
technically, she still is married to him because it hadn't been finalized, but everything was signed. That's what I thought.
Oh, but either way, I don't exactly blame the Kardashians because I'm like, it's not like they're hiding it. Like, you should know what you're getting into. when you sign up for this. It's like the woman that married Prince William. All right, you should understand what you're getting into. Don't go complaining about the cameras and the photo ops and all that. This is life. You sign on for this. Unfortunately, I don't think that this was healthy for Lamar. I just don't, and I don't think that being in front of those cameras hurt. I don't think the cameras caused it, but the cameras didn't help. It just didn't.
Okay.
It just didn't. So it leads me to ask this question because when this happened, and of course Lamar, from what I hear, is he did open his eyes. He has
he's responded. Yeah,
he's spoken a few words. Is it ever fair for your off the court life to overshadow your accomplishments on the court or on the field?
It's not fair, but it's part of what you sign up for.
Explain that.
Or an athlete or entertainer, you're free game. You no longer have a private life. Everything you do is public. So if you don't want that type of lifestyle, then sad to say you can't be in that field. Mm-hmm. It's not right. It's not fair, but that's just the way things are.
Right.
I get that. However, I will say this. The media plays a huge part because it's what they want to focus on. Because whatever they focus on is what the people won't forget. You know, I've been on record as saying I think that Ray Rice has done an amazing job since his incident. And we won't let the media won't let the world forget. Ray Rice hit his woman. We just won't. We can't even talk about Ray Rice trying to make a comeback in the NFL without playing that video, without bringing up his fiance's name, without mentioning that he hit his woman. The media won't let you forget that. But you look at somebody like Ray Lewis. I don't know how he did it, but everybody has forgotten about Ray Lewis and his troubles.
He killed the
You mean both his troubles?
Huh?
You mean both his troubles of being witness to a murder? That one too?
Yeah.
Witness to the murder or the murderer?
I never thought that he did it, but I know he know who did it. And there's a homeless man, I always say, in Atlanta with a white mink coat with some blood on it somewhere. Staying warm.
Right. Yep, to this day.
Staying warm. I mean, I've seen pictures of him walking with that white mink coat. You don't lose that. That doesn't just get lost. To where nobody finds it? Oh, okay. All right.
Oh, that's somewhere in the Baltimore River.
Man,
believe that.
That's in the Chattahoochee.
That was down here.
Yeah, it's a homeless man in Buckhead that day. Got him a good meal.
I think a lot of it is who you surround yourself with too. Because if you got good PR and good people, good attorneys, good advisors, when you get into something so major, you can come back. We've seen stars do it over and over again. All it takes, though, is that you got to have a team of people, and you have to want to not let that be your lasting legacy.
That's true. That's true. However, like I said, with the part, I agree with you. Part, I don't. Part, I agree with you that you got to have the right team. I know that people watch Scandal. Scandal is based off true people.
So, hold on. So you don't watch Scandal?
Yes, I watch Scandal. I have a wife. I have to.
I'm about to say, you gonna watch the Kardashians and not watch Scandal?
No, I watch Scandal.
Really done lost it.
I watch
Scandal.
Scandal.
I got a wife. I have to.
I watch a
Basically.
I watch a pimp on the Kardashians and Chris, and I watch a harlot on Scandal.
And America roots for both.
I know, right? But on Scandal,
I feel some type of way about that, but we'll come back to
okay. On Scandal, she is basically what you call a PR fixer. There are people like that exist in this world. For real. And I think that for a lot of people, they don't go to those people because they feel like it's a waste of money. Just like some people feel like having an accountant is a waste of money.
You to the IRS come with that $726,000.
Trey Songz.
He paid his though right away.
Yeah, I know. He ain't got no choice. He going to jail. 700.
No, he had a choice. You know, a lot of them get on like a fixed, pay you every month kind of situation.
Pay that $750.
No, he wired $726 whatever $1,000 it was, and joked about it like it was a mistake. Whatever. I got plenty though.
Yeah, but when you think about those players, it makes me think. Did Ray Lewis have a PR person? He had to. He had to. Because the truth of the matter is, Ray Lewis refigured the way that Atlanta parties. Like, he was that pivotal. Like, he was a part of it. So, we don't talk about that no more. We watch Ray Lewis now on TV and with all that Beijing in his head. And he is the church-going, what is he, 2 or 3-time champion?
Who?
Ray Lewis. 2-time?
2-time.
All right. 2-time champion Ray Lewis. We don't talk about the murder.
He won. I think he's been in the league like 5 years, and then he won his last year.
Yeah. So, 2-time champion. That's all we mentioned. If anything happens to Ray Lewis
Trent
today...
Dilfer and then Joey Flacco.
Yeah. So, if anything happens to Ray Lewis today, we're going to say 2-time Super Bowl champion, defensive MVP, all that stuff. We're going to say that about Ray Lewis. We're not going to say, who at one point was charged for murder and who went to trial. So I don't...
Not for the most part. No, you only have 1 or 2 skeptics who would say that, but you're right. For the majority, it'll be all the accolades that he put together.
Absolutely. And I think that's what you have to do. You either have to go away from, like, the limelight for good, or you have to hire your PR team. It's the only way. I think of Mark McGwire. Mark McGwire had just as huge part in the steroid era as anybody else, as Barry Bonds or Jose Canseco or anybody else. Mark McGwire retired and disappeared off the face of the earth. That man was coaching 10-year-olds in some remote place. He disappeared off the face of the earth, and that's the only PR that he had. The only reason we brought back Mark McGwire was because he had to go to court about it. Other than that, he disappeared. He said, "That's how y'all gonna forget. I'm just gonna go away."
Right.
I'm not sure what someone has to do who's somebody like Lamar Odom. Okay, for example, let's talk about somebody who I think completely different of than other people. If you mention O.J. Simpson, everything bad that man has ever done will come up.
Just let me get to my house.
Okay, we're going to do that.
I swear to you, I'll give you I'll give you my whole body.
Okay.
I just need to get to my house.
Okay. We're going to do that. Just throw the gun out the window. We're not going to bother you. We're going to let you go up there. Just throw it out the window. Please, you're scaring everybody. OJ, you there?
I don't even think people remember OJ the Juice.
No, they don't.
They only remember OJ Simpson, the one we think killed Nicole and in jail for the stupidest thing in the world. OJ Simpson.
Yeah.
But I bet you me and you probably had the same outtake on it. I'm sorry. They got away with a lot of murders. He went on trial. He stood in front of a jury of his peers. He got off. Move on.
We absolutely think. Don, what you think about OJ, man? Right now he's the killer, but he was a great running back.
But I think it goes back to the phrase, what have you done for me lately? What are your last impressions of that person? So with Ray Lewis, his last impression was a Super Bowl champion, motivator, leader of men, great analyst that's coming into his own with football. So if something were to happen now, that's what we're going to remember.
Mm.
You look at Charles Barkley and his gambling addiction that he's been, upfront about.
Yes.
If something were to happen to Barkley now, it's, you look at the work that he's done, winning an Emmy with TNT.
Yes.
That's what you're going to remember. Sad to say for Lamar Odom, he hasn't played basketball in a while. So that image and memory of him, which is why you said some people have to Google him, they don't know. They don't remember. So his lasting images are his last image.
Timing is everything. You're right. I will agree with that. Timing is everything. I've always remember my uncle telling me, with a bottle of Seagram gin in his hand, telling me that it's better to be a young fool and get your life together than an old fool and get your life together.
City boy, South.